Hey everyone, I'm Armor Gaming, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Monster Legends. The Warmasters, or the very first Warmaster, has finally been released, and so there's a bunch of information I want to relay to all of you guys. So first of all, there is a video from Social Point that you can watch. As soon as you log into the game, there should be a pop-up that'll take you straight to the YouTube video. And so really important that you need to be at least level 40 to even participate in the event, and you need to have the latest version of Monster Legends installed. And in order to access this event, you need to go on Attack, you need to go on Dungeons, and then you're going to see two different pathways. You can go the resource dungeons or the heroic dungeons. So we're going to click on heroic, and look at that, the Warmaster Gortak dungeon. We're going to click enter. Well, before that, as you can see, the rules require 3 earth monsters, and you can get up to your rank 5 Gortak monster. But then once you click enter, you see how difficult it really is. There are a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 floors. And as you increase in floors, you see it becomes more difficult. For example, in floor 6, you need 3 rank 5 monsters. In floor 5, you need rank 4s, floor 4 rank 3s, and so on. But going back to floor 1, this is where you don't need to have any ranked monsters, and you can get a total of 40 cells. And then on floor 2, you need to have rank 1 monsters, and you get 60 cells. And so once you complete floor 1 and floor 2, you have enough to craft Gortak. You're going to have 100 cells. And again, really important, the only way to actually craft Gortak and to rank him up is to use his own individual cells. You will not be allowed to use elemental cells or elementium. So if you've saved up a bunch just for the Warmaster monsters, I'm sorry, you better use them for your Nemesis and VIP monsters, because for these monsters, the Warmasters, the only way to actually craft and rank up these monsters will be with their own individual cells. And if you do the math and you calculate all of the different amount of cells you get exactly 1770, which is enough to pay the 100 to craft them, and then the 1670 to rank them all the way to rank 5. And so I just want to make that really clear. We're not going to be allowed to donate these cells, we're not going to be allowed to purchase them. These cells will really only be obtainable through completing all of the floors in the dungeons, the Warmaster dungeons. And once we actually enter the first floor, we see how truly difficult it is. How it's not really going to be easy to get this monster and then rank them all the way to rank 5. Even if you spend a ton of money in this game, it's going to be very difficult, because apart from spending, you actually have to go through the notion of fighting every single node, and you got to beat every node. And then if you lose during the node, you actually have to pay orbs to retry. So it can get very expensive, and you really shouldn't try to fight unless you know definitely that you're going to win. So let me just unlock this first one, and it goes straight into the battle. Actually, I thought it would give me a chance to unlock it. I actually should, right? I should be able to exit out. Yeah, okay, and it didn't take away anything, so I'll unlock it again. I get to change my team, but I mean, they're level 95, so I should be able to beat them. So there goes 40 orbs. And look at this, stuff is activating. Like, there's some I guess battle rules that go on, and with that we don't even know them. So all of my monsters got hit with cooldowns activated. This means that in future nodes, my monsters could get hit with a control immunity, or a stun, a freeze, a possession. So I guess you got to be a little more careful, and you got to kind of construct a team that has different stuff. Or I guess maybe you should wait for someone to complete the nodes and then let you know what's in every single node. So now I know, hey, if you're entering floor 1, the very first thing that's going to happen is you're going to get hit with cooldowns activated. Make sure you have a monster with 0 cooldown skills. Alright, so let's see what happens. Wasn't expecting that. Finally, I can use an attack. I will do Toxic Disease. It doesn't matter, right? Because I have rank 3 monsters, I'm really not going to lose. If I do lose, that'd be kind of sad. But again, if I were to lose, there is a heroic orb cost. So be very careful of that. So Poisonous Sight. For those of you that don't have ranked up monsters and you're trying to beat the floor, I would highly recommend you wait until more information is out on the kind of stuff that happens to you on the very first turn. So I'm actually gonna play. Let me do revenge on them. I'm actually gonna play another node just so you guys can see exactly what happens to you. So this is taking a lot longer than I thought. Let's recharge here. As soon as Baragor gets a turn in, there we go. OTK. And then Baylor, he's not going to OTK, but he at least does Total Blind, so that prevents me from getting possessed or anything. Alright, Montezuma, you're still on cooldown. And then Rival Punishment, and then Baragor will finish her off. So yeah, alt 2. So yeah, be very careful. Because can you imagine if it was like you start off by getting possessed, and then you're not prepared for that, you don't have... Oh nice, we get elemental cells, earth elemental cells. That is very nice. And you get 3 of them. That's cool. So, from my understanding, for the very first... We're going to talk cost right now, before I play. From my understanding, for the very first floor, it's going to cost you 40 orbs per node, and there's a total of 20 of them for a grand total of 800. Okay, you need 800 orbs to complete the first floor and get your 40 cells. And then for floor number 2, I believe it's going to cost 60 per node. I'm not sure. I think eventually it's going to go to where every node increases. I'm not exactly sure. So right now I'm only speaking about floor 1 and floor 2. But I've been told that at floor 2, it costs 60 per node. And so 60 times 20 nodes, that's 1200. So you need 1200 for floor 2. So if you want to complete floor 1 and floor 2, you're going to need 2000 orbs, which you actually can get. Let me show you this because we're on that subject. You can actually buy 2,500 for $50. So if you really want Gortak right now at level 100 on first day, this is probably your best bet. Like seriously, I don't see any better option than just doing this if you really want them at 100 immediately. And I'll be honest, after test playing with them, I'm kind of tempted to do it myself. But as much as I want to, I'm not going to. I'm gonna do this the long way. I'm gonna just play the free-to-play style and see how long it takes. So let's attack node number 2 and let's see what sort of thing happens to me on the very first turn. So cooldown's activated. So I'm not sure if this whole floor's cooldown's activated or if it just so happens to be that way. So I'm just gonna keep recharging, and once I get a turn in, I'll finally do something. So just be prepared. If you're watching this video and you haven't started that first floor, cooldown's activated. Have a monster that can counter that. I was actually gonna swap out, but I didn't. But do have something to counter that. If you have ranked up monsters, it really isn't too much of a problem because you get a lot of turns in. Even with cooldowns activated, you'll eventually get a turn in. You can attack the enemies, but just do be wary of that. Alright, let's do poison and possession. Only the poison landed. Let's recharge. Let's do poisonous sights. Let's just keep on poisoning. I should have probably poisoned her. Let's do Elder Curse. Let's see if I can get Tessaday. And I did. And then they also have, aside from having runes, they also have relics. So do be careful because you really don't want to lose, considering there is an orb cost to re-entry to try again in case you lose. Let's do Fatigue Hit, get myself an extra turn. And then I should have done that on Tessaday. Let's see if I can possess you. And it worked. Awesome. And then as soon as Barak are perfect, let's get rid of you little pets. And then I'll win here. So yeah, I imagine the majority of you are only starting off with 165 orbs. I think they gave away 150, and then they did give us a little bit of opportunity to get orbs. Daily rewards. You make sure to do your daily rewards because you do get 5 orbs every time you do 5 attacks, I believe, or 3 attacks. Sorry, you do 3 attacks. The PvP, you get 5 free orbs. So make sure you always do that. There's gonna be ways to get orbs in time challenges. And actually, I noticed that my baby account has a bit more orbs than me. I have 177 on my baby account where I only had 165 on this account. And I believe that's because if you didn't do the rune event as soon as it started, you actually got 12 additional orbs. So kind of sucks that I didn't wait, kind of sucks that we weren't informed, but it is what it is. It's 12 orbs. It's not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of the game. And so I'll just finish off this monster with Toxic Disease, and we'll go on to talking about the event, some things I really want to emphasize, some things I want to make clear, because what always happens when events are first released, there's a ton of confusion, there's a ton of people wanting to know everything immediately, and it's like, oh nice, 4 cells this time. I wonder if it's going to increase incrementally every single time. Anyhow, there's a lot of people just confused about everything, and like they want to know everything, and it's like, guys, calm down, it's barely been a couple of hours, relax, eventually the information will flood in. Let's not, I think we make it more difficult to allow people to get information when we have so many questions and stuff. A lot of stuff can be resolved if we just be patient, wait a day, wait a couple of hours, or just read through the information. So the first thing I want to make clear is that these dungeons right here, if you read, contains enough cells to get a rank 5 Earth Warmaster. Progress in Warmaster dungeons is permanent and they will reappear monthly. So this dungeon is going to be here for a week and then it's going to disappear. And in that meantime, we're going to be able to collect orbs, and then it's going to reappear, and wherever you left off, that's where you're going to start off. So for example, if I don't play this during the whole week, I'm going to be right there about to attack node 3. And it's always going to be that way. Even if I don't play for 4 months and then I go back into the game, that is going to be my progress because these kinds of dungeons are going to reappear monthly. So don't worry, don't think that you need to finish it all in the very first week. You don't. It's going to reappear monthly, which I think is great. I think it's great for long-term players. If you're a free-to-play player, normally we're used to this, right? We're used to the grind. We're used to just storing up our resources and waiting until we can eventually get the thing we want. So this is awesome. This is perfect for people like me who don't really like to spend money on the game and just like to see how fast we can progress throughout the game. Now, if you're a spender and you want to spend, of course you can just buy orbs. And right now, like I said, the best offer right now really is this 2,500 orbs for $50, because you can get Gortak already on the first day, assuming you can beat every single node. And even if you can't, I already told you, floor 1 and floor 2 cost 2,000. You have an extra 500 orbs to spend from this purchase. You also have your free 150 and the other little orbs you've gotten from the daily rewards and from the time challenge. So even if you do lose a couple battles, the retry fee, from what I've seen, it was, I believe, 4 orbs on floor 1. I don't know if that's going to increase too. I don't know, as the more and more you progress, that price increases. But nonetheless, if you do this purchase and you have the good monsters, you should be able to get Gortak on the first day or within this first week. Another way to get orbs is to actually purchase them. If you go to packs, you can get orbs. So the thing to know about this is that the price increases after every purchase and it resets every hour. And so what I would recommend for you free-to-play players is to, every once in a while, go ahead and invest the 40 gems. Are you sure you want to spend 40 gems? Sure. I now have more orbs, which allows me to kind of speed up my progress along the floors. So if you, as you notice right there, price resets in 24 hours, which means if I come 24 hours later and buy more orbs, I can seriously speed up my progress. I think for your free-to-play player to get a level 100, it's going to take about 5 months. But if every day you just come in and spend the 40 gems, and this allows you to access one extra node, you might be able to reduce that progress significantly to about a month or 2, which is amazing for a free-to-play player, right? To get a really powerful monster. So I would recommend that. I'm actually going to be doing it myself. Every once in a while, I'm going to come in, buy myself some orbs, which at least for the first floor means I'm going to be able to get one floor ahead of everyone else. So that's going to really help. Also, make sure to do your best in leagues, because if you notice, they replaced Rune with orbs. So for me, I'm always in Legendary 4. I'm going to be getting 180 every 2 weeks, which is a nice little amount. I do miss my runes, but I mean, Warmasters really are the new thing. So it's nice that they're giving orbs. And then obviously, the better you do, the more orbs you get. So make sure you get past that Silver 1, and then try to get into a league you can stay in, whether it be Gold 1 or Legendary 4. And so I guess I just want to end by giving my overall thoughts on this event and by encouraging people to go to the update section and actually read through the information. There's a lot of useful information, and a lot of the questions that people have can be answered if you would just take a few minutes just to read through the update section. So right here where it says Heroic Dungeon and Warmasters, it tells you there's 6 floors. It tells you that you need a minimum amount of 3 monsters in the same element from rank 0 to 5 to access each dungeon. It says that after completing all 6 floors, you'll be able to hit your rank 5, but it is extremely challenging, and they will be reoccurring, and progress is saved. So I think that's the most important thing that people are confused about. Don't be stressed. Don't think that you need to finish in this first day, this first week. You're going to have plenty of time in the long scheme. If you're playing Monster Legends for a long time, you're going to have plenty of time to get your Warmaster monsters. And then battle conditions. This is what happened to me. In order to test the abilities as a Monster Master, each node of the Warmaster dungeon will have different battle conditions, having a unique buff or debuff which apply to all monsters on the battlefield. For example, all monsters start stunned, all monsters start with cooldowns activated, all monsters reflect enemy attacks. These battle conditions will change every few dungeon nodes, so be ready to master them and use them to your advantage. And so this is why I would really caution players to, before you attack a node, ask around, ask on Facebook, ask on Discord, see if maybe people know what are the conditions for specific nodes, or up until when, from what floor to what node. I'm gonna take a random guess that they change every 5 nodes. I don't know why, that just seems fitting, but it could be completely wrong. So just make sure you know. As you saw from my video, the first few are cooldowns activated, so be careful. Make sure you have monsters with 0 cooldown, especially if you don't have ranked up monsters. So yeah, I just really want to stress to people, please read through the information on here. There's a lot of useful information. You could also go to the Monster Legends forum. There's so much information on there, so be sure to check that out. I'm going to put a link in the description below. And again, I just want to remind everyone that if you do buy orbs, the price does increase incrementally. So if I was to purchase more orbs for 55, the price would increase again, and the price won't reset for 24 hours, which is honestly really nice. I think this kind of prevents the amount of players that are going to spend to get a 130 on the first day of the first week. Because if the cost increases, and I'm assuming they can buy until forever, or maybe not, I don't know, maybe there's a cap, but if the cost increases every time you click purchase, well then it's going to get super costly. So I don't know how many players actually want to do that. Now of course I'm sure there's a very small percent that will actually do it, but I mean the majority of players, they're going to kind of shy away from this, and they're going to play the long-term game. Even if they're pay to win, they're going to decide this cost is way too heavy. I'm just going to get my free nodes from time challenges, from daily challenges, from the leagues. So I think this is a really good attempt to decrease that gap. And actually going back to the update section, because we're talking about getting the monster, You should know that in order to get some of his more elite skills, you need to rank him up. At rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, rank 4, that's when he gets different skills. And if you check the update section, it actually tells you when he gets the different skill. Watch out, Gortak, the 80 damage single mega stun skill, that's at rank 1. Full Jaeger, the skill that gives your whole team immunity to control effects, dark protection, damage immune to yourself, and immediate extra turn, that's on rank 2. And in order to get the AoE Mega Stun, that's actually rank 3. So don't think that everyone that has this monster is going to have an OP monster that has immunity to control effects and AoE Mega Stun. No, they're actually going to get him to level 115, which is going to be very, very difficult from what we've already seen. And then at rank 4, he has Ground Split, which is the AoE Quicksand and Sunburn, which I'm thankful for because that's actually the least best of his amazing skills. I hope I worded that correctly. So don't worry about people having AoE Mega Stun on the first few months or whatever. That's probably not going to happen. And if it does happen, it's probably not going to be for the majority of people. It's really probably only going to happen on the very, very top elite group of players. So most of us won't even encounter it. It's kind of like the same thing when relics were released and everyone was panicking about relics. And I was trying to convince everyone it's not that difficult. It's not going to impact the majority of people. Like after relics were released, I didn't use relics for a good few, like 5 or more months. I didn't encounter relics, and when I did, they were level 1, and it really didn't impact me. It only really impacted the top group of players because that's where you have the spenders that spend immediately to get everything ranked up. But again, with the Warmasters, it doesn't appear it's going to be that easy. They're really going to have to play the long-term game. And of course, if you want to test out the Warmaster for yourself, there is an option to test him out. You can test out some of his amazing abilities, you can test out his ultimate, you can see how powerful he is. And I do want to say that for a player like me, and for many of you long-term players that aren't casual spenders or have never spent a dime on this game, I really enjoy these Warmaster dungeons. When you think back to VIP monsters were the very first exclusive pay-to-win item. The only way to purchase VIP was to spend $20. And if you weren't willing to spend that money, you weren't able to get a VIP. And the same with Nemesis monsters. The only way to get Nemesis was to purchase them outright. It wasn't until the release of Talos that free-to-play had a chance to get a Nemesis monster. So they kind of did away with that complete pay-to-win system, and now there's a system where anyone has a chance to get the monster. If you want to pay, then you can get the monster faster. But if you don't want to pay, then you can play the long haul and get the monster, which I really enjoy. I'm personally the kind of player that doesn't like to spend money on games, and I just want to see how far I can get just using my time and using my resources. And if I gotta play 5 months to get a Warmaster, I'm happy with that as long as it's free and I don't gotta spend actual money. Now, I am spending time, which you can argue is more valuable than money, but that's a whole different story. So I gotta say, props to Social Point for this type of event. I really enjoy it. I'm hoping players will enjoy it, but this is the part where I want to hear from all of you guys. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Do you like this type of system? Do you not like it? Do you think it's too hard? Do you think it's not hard enough? Whatever thoughts are going on through your mind with this event, please let me know in the comments below. Best of luck to all of you on the Warmaster dungeons, on the different events going on everything in Monster Legends. I'm Armor Gaming, and I will see you all next time.